maintained a tradition of service while embracing the future for your financial needs. Celebrating a century of service to the mountains. People's Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
TVS Cable has everything you need to stay entertained. Video services with all your favorite channels and local sports on Hometown 24. Ask about digital voice service for home and business. High-speed internet so you never fall behind in a game. There's something for all ages. We've got you covered. Sit back and enjoy everything TVS has to offer. Stay connected with TVS.
Welcome, volleyball fans, to Hometown 24. We're here at Letcher County Central High School, and we're going to have the Knott County Central Lady Patriots versus Letcher County Central. Letcher County Central coming in at 17-11, 10-2 in the region. Knott County Central 20-7, 14-0 in the region. So a big battle here. I'm Manus Blair, and I'm joined once again by Katie Sloan. And Katie, expecting a really good match tonight.
I am. Anytime Knott Central plays Letcher Central, it's always a good match. And I know, I've said a million times whenever I played, blah, blah, blah. But it was always a good game whenever we played. It's always a good game between Letcher and Knott Central, and it has been for the longest time. And both of these programs just continue to grow, and I'm excited to see how it goes tonight.
Well, we talked off the air earlier about I guess you call it the contemporary era of volleyball between these two. And we kind of look back from 2016 and here. And in the last 16 matches, Knott Central actually has won 10 of the last 16. So Letcher Central trying to get that edge on them. I've said it time again, said it last night during the Hazard Knott Central game, that Knott Central right now is on the perch, on the top, and everybody else is trying to knock them off that perch. And Letcher Central played them 3 really good sets the first match over at Knott County Central, but they have to find that extra little bit to try to get over the top against Knott County Central.
Knott County's a really strong team. They play really well together. They have a great defense. They have a great offense. And once they get in sync and they get on fire, it's hard to beat them. Yeah,
and, like last night we talked about, when you've got the Miller girls, who are the setters for Knott County Central, do an exceptional job of keeping them in system. And then you can't just block Faith Pollard. You've got Bailey, you've got Bentley, you've got Waddell, you've got Baker, who is an 8th grader who's coming on as well. And, Letcher Central, they've got it too. They're a younger team than Knott Central, but I'm interested to see how much in the last 3 weeks they have improved. Both teams are on a 4-match win streak coming in to tonight's match. So I'm interested to see how much improvement have those young girls made coming in tonight's match.
I'm sure they've worked on a lot of things, and that's something that you sit and talk about after the game. And I know a lot of the girls, they like to look at game film and see kind of where they make mistakes and see what adjustments they can make. And I'm sure that's sitting in the back of their mind tonight, and they're both saying, okay, we're 4-game win streak. Let's make sure that we get another one in.
Right. And, when you actually start thinking about things and you're looking at film, and I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people think, well, it's just basketball, you watch film. No. When you look over here, you see a huddle, and you over there huddle for both of them. They share that. They can look at it. They can see the tendencies and what kind of things. Do they hit it down the line? Do they hit it across? Is there a double block? Is there a single block? So a lot of different things can be looked at through the video of today's game.
I'll tell you, Manus, I wish when I was in high school the things that they do now and the opportunities that they have now I had, because we didn't have any kind of video. We didn't do no video. Our stats were not as upkept as what the stats are now. Everything was just completely different, and we didn't have all of these training camps that we were able to go to. Yeah. We didn't have all these college games like the girls like to go to. We didn't have that opportunity, and it truly shows. And they have brought so much attention to the region, just in how much the program has grew, how much dedication the girls have, and everybody that comes out and supports and donates and helps make sure these girls do a good program.
And I'm sure our people can see across the way, but a nice crowd here for tonight's game. And actually, if Letcher Central were to win, then this is actually, and I don't know exactly the tiebreakers on district championships and all that in the regular season. I didn't go in and didn't ask AD Blake Mason about it, but I should know it since I used to be an AD. But you know, you're playing for pride. You're playing for that. And Knott County Central, they want to stay on the top. Letcher Central wants to knock them off. So as we go through, I hope we're able to do it justice. And for those that are tuning in, we thank you. And I think you're going to really see a really good match between the two teams. And no national anthem, so Letcher Central is going to start right off. And it's going to be Lucas that will serve for Letcher Central to start the match. Nice up. Goes back to Bentley. Lucas to low, and it's going to be a free ball to miscommunication, and it's going to be point, Knott County Central.
That was a really good pass, too, from Letcher. It was perfectly where it needed to be. I think there's just a lot of miscommunication.
And a little nerves coming in, as Bentley will start off serving for Knott County Central. Lucas across to low. She'll hit Miller. And there's Pollard, and it's down. Point, Knott County Central.
I'm telling you, with Pollard, they're just so quick.
And that's Pollard. Pollard has over 300 kills for the season, so number 1 in the 14th region. Nice up by Pack. Back set to Napier. A little bit of an overpass, and there's Lowe with a block on Pollard. Point, Letcher Central.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Manus, when you said nerves. We're 3 points into this game, and each team is making the simplest mistakes. And you know as well as I do, both these teams are way better than that.
Oh, yeah. And Napier serves it. Pollard to Miller. Miller across to Pollard, double block. Somebody was in the net, I believe, but no call. But it's still a point for Knott County Central. 3-1 Knott County Central. Stidham will go back to serve, and I just think in that first match, Knott Central just served a little bit more aggressively than Letcher Central did.
Yeah.
Cross to Pack, and that's going to be a kill for Pack, and that's going to be point, Letcher Central.
It's perfect positioning, getting into that hole in the corner back there.
You know, and for our position on the camera and our position up here on the second deck, you can really see the net play from up here. And Lowe will serve for Letcher Central. Nice up by Stidham to Miller, short set, and there's Pollard straight down. No block, 4-2, Knott County Central. Bailey will come in for Miller for Knott Central.
I've played against Pollard. I practiced with Pollard, and I played 8 years of volleyball, and I tell you, when she went up, and this was probably 3 years ago, when she went up, I was scared. I was worried, and that was before she got the cannon.
And Eldridge with a miss hit, and that's going to be a point for Knott County Central, 5-2, set number 1. Thanks to everybody for tuning in on Hometown 24. Nice serve by Miller. Adams gets it to the setter, and nice over the top. Waddell draws it. Adams to Lucas, back set, over top of the block. There's Pollard. Back to Pollard. Tries to angle over the double block. Comes back to Pack. It's off the block, and it'll be point, Letcher Central.
Those are some really good plays from Letcher, too. They're doing a great job of being able to get that ball where the setter can set it, and they can make a good playable ball out of that.
Letcher Central to serve. Nice floater. Back set to Pollard, and Pollard puts it down. Point, Knott County Central. Sluss will come in for Pollard to serve.
I think that's just one of those things we're probably going to see quite a bit from Letcher this game, is maybe a little frustration because they don't have the height that they need in order to do that double block on Pollard.
Nice job by Bailey as she blocked it, then was able to hit it again. Free ball for Knott County Central. Bentley to Miller, back to Bentley, off the net and down for a point for Knott County Central, 7-3.
As Bill Grigsby loves to say, the net was her friend.
Was much kind to. Sluss will serve again at 7-3. Adams with up. Miscommunication. Napier over to Pack, and it's going to be not over. And that will be a point for Knott County Central. 8-3. Adams gets it up to the front, and nobody there. And it's going to be point, Knott Central. And Coach Van Hoos has seen enough. 9-3, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. Stay with us.
Since 1962, Citizens Bank and Trust of Jackson has been proud to serve the community. They care about the people of Breathitt County and are the only locally owned bank in the community. With 2 branches in Jackson and 1 in Beattyville, they're never too far away when you need them. And with the latest innovations in banking, keeping track of your finances has never been easier. Helping to grow Breathitt County as leaders for over 60 years. That's Citizens Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the campus of Letcher County High School. We're in set number 1. Knott County Central out to a 9-3. Good start by Knott County Central. Not as good a start for Letcher Central. A little bit of not being in system, and they've got to come with it, and that's what Coach Van Hoos just come out with.
It's a great pass.
Goes to Pack and off the net. Nice job, and it's going to be a free ball for Letcher Central. Adams to Lucas, across to Pack. Double block, and Eldridge is there, puts it down. Somebody was in the net or the ball. And no call. 10-3. Maybe I need to change my vision. Did you see a net violation?
I think our down ref thought there was, but our up ref didn't see it. I'm not completely sure on that.
Yeah. We're pretty good distance from here. Free ball for Letcher Central. Adams to Lucas. Eldridge tries to get across. Bailey hits it to Miller to Waddell. There's Adams, overpass. Waddell hits it, and it's going to be out of bounds, and that's going to be point Letcher Central. As Coach Cornett talks to Waddell about something and sends her back. Pack to serve. Nice
Beautiful
serve. Goes back to Bentley. Adams to Lucas to Eldridge.
Really good quick set from Letcher.
And that's going to be a violation, and that's going to be point for Letcher Central. And Pack has 78 aces on the season, so you can see that serve is hard to handle. As Bentley tries to handle it, does. Goes back to Bailey. Bailey with a nice, and it's up. Woo. Scrambling, and Letcher Central scores the point.
I believe that was Lucas that dumped that ball over. She done a great job of positioning that. She seen that the Patriots were scrambling and was able to get that ball over to the line.
Stidham with a up to Miller, goes across to Bentley, and she goes over top of the block. Sluss to Miller to Waddell, and it doesn't cross, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. Letcher Central rallying here.
All they need is just a couple good points, and when they've got a good server back like her, what can you ask for?
Goes across to Bentley. Bentley hits it off the block and down. It'll be point Knott County Central, 11-7, as Sluss will go out and Pollard will come in, as well as Baker, as Waddell will go back to serve.
It was a really good serve from Waddell.
Napier off the block, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central, 11-8. Knott Central, as Lowe will come in for Eldridge. Waddell will go out.
Letcher's itching their way back up to Knott Central. They're back in this ball game.
Back set to Bailey. Bailey hits it long, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. And this is kind of like the first match at Knott Central. It was back and forth, and looks like we're going to have another one. It's Stidham up to Miller. Miller gives it up to Bentley. A little bit of mistiming there. Lucas goes to Lowe. Nice block by Bentley. Point Knott County Central. Miller comes in for Bailey, and she will go back to serve. Back to Lucas, too low. Hits it down and off Pollard, and it will be point, Letcher Central.
Lowe done a really good job of getting that ball still back there inbounds directly to a player.
Lucas will serve for Letcher Central. And that's going to be long.
That one had a little bit of backspin on it. Kept it floating on out of bounds.
Bentley will serve for Knott County Central. And Pack gets it to Lucas, short set, and there's a nice block by Pollard. Point, Knott County Central.
You could just see the force that was hit on that ball, that it almost went out of bounds whenever it was blocked.
And in the first match, she had 4 blocks against Letcher Central, did Pollard. So that plays in your mind as a hitter. And free ball, Knott Central, Stidham to Miller, short set to Pollard. Says it was touched, and another block by Pollard. Point, Knott County Central. So 2 in a row. Bentley with the serve to Pack. Lucas back set to Napier. Napier tries to go down the line, but Bentley's there. Across Stidham to Baker, around, and I believe we're going to have a whistle, and that's going to be a reserve.
Yeah.
Inadvertent whistle. Anytime it's an invert whistle, you reserve, no point for either team. I've done that a few times in my refereeing career.
It be like that sometimes.
Yep. Overpass, but Lucas was able to knuckle it across for the point.
These girls are really quick, and they're doing a really good job at finding those honey holes, as Betty Vaughn calls it. And Letcher has always been able to see the court incredibly well. They can see everything. How, I don't know, but they can.
As Napier will serve. Bentley up to Miller. Miller to Pollard, and Pollard puts it down. Point, Knott County Central, 16-11 in the first set. Thanks to everybody that's tuning in tonight. And if you are tuning in, Dickie Adams just hollering at me, and he's standing right over there. So Adams, little mishit, Pack's there. It's going to be a free ball for Knott Central as Lucas puts it to Pollard. Miller right in the middle and off the block, and that's going to be a point. As Pollard has taken over here in this little bit of the last 3 or 4 or 5 points with the blocks and the kills, 17-11, Knott County Central.
You got a hot hitter, you feed it to her all night long.
You're exactly right, and that's going to be another point. And 18-11, and that's going to be a timeout by Letcher County Central. 18-11, set number 1. Stay with us.
In Kentucky, we understand what matters: family, friends, community. But sometimes we hurt. At Mountain Comprehensive Care Center, we believe in hope, and Mountain's behavioral health professionals want to be there for you every step of the way. Together, we can overcome the challenges of depression, PTSD, addiction, and so much more. With behavioral health centers throughout Kentucky, your story of recovery begins at Mountain Comprehensive Care Center.
It's this one.
Welcome back to Letcher County Central. Timeout by Letcher Central and Coach Van Hoos. Pollard has definitely put a stamp on this last few points, and it's 18-11. And really tough to come from behind once you get down 7 this late in a set. We'll see what Letcher Central can come up with.
That's your worst nightmare as an opposing team whenever you're this far into the set and your opposing team's best hitter gets to the front row. They stay in the front row like the whole time.
Yes.
And it just seems like it never ends and you can never get ahead.
And that's that momentum we talked about, is it's going to be a free ball for Knott Central.
Yeah,
and that's going, almost had it as Pack was there for it.
It's a good decision by Miller. It's too close to the net.
And that missed set there. Both teams scrambling as Pack hits it, and there's no touch, and that's going to be point, Knott Central. And that means Stidham will continue to serve. 19-11, first set. Adams not been able to contain it. Point, Knott Central, 20-11. floats it to Adams. Lucas with a short, and that's going to be off the block of Waddell. And we're playing a little, as Betty Vaughn says, a little pity-patty. And that's going to be in the deep backside, and that's going to be another point for Knott County Central, 21-11.
You can see the frustration with the girls from Letcher right now, and I think we'll see a different side of Letcher coming into the second set after they've got that few-minute break.
Adams goes over to Pack off the block, and nice job by Miller.
Oh.
Tried to cut it, and it's going to be point. Knott Central. Pollard trying to just cut it over the net as Lowell will go back to serve.
And that's one of those balls that you beat yourself up about, but it happens. I've had the ball hit me in the head several times trying to hit it. So.
Waddell with a nice hit, and it's going to be a touch, and that's going to be point Knott County Central as Bailey will come in for Miller. Adams back in for Lowe. Adams is 7th grader as the Librero does an outstanding job. And as I say that, they hit it directly to her. Eldridge off the block. Pollard hits it up, able to control it. Waddell with a hit, and it's going to go off Adams for the point, 23-12. Nice job of Knott Central scrambling to get in within system. Nice knuckleball serve.
It's a beautiful pass. Really good swing from Eldridge.
Scrambling, and they get it across. Adams to Lucas, gives it up to Eldridge, and that's a block by Pollard once again. Miller to Pollard off the block. Nice job by Napier to go to Lucas. Eldridge tries to go deep, but there's Bentley. Goes to Pollard. Nice job by Lucas. Adams with the communication. Pack to Stidham. Goes back to Pollard in the middle, and nice job, but it's going to be a point for Knott Central, and that will be leading to set point for Knott County Central as Miller will go back to serve for set number 1.
It's hard to see because you don't see the final point from Letcher, but Eldridge is really putting in work on that front line. She's hitting some really hard balls. She's doing some really good tips and pushes to the back row, and it's just not working out for Letcher right now.
Yep, they just got to keep going, as you said. Just got to keep it going, and that point will go off the block for Letcher Central. Stidham with a up to Miller, goes to Bailey. Bailey, it's blocked by Eldridge, and it'll be off of Knott Central for the point for Letcher Central.
I told you, man, she's doing work on that front row.
Doing a nice job. I do not have a number 8. Do you have a number 8 for Letcher Central? I do not. I'm going to have to ask somebody who number 8 is.
If anybody would like to comment on the Facebook feed, that would be great.
Yeah, holler at us and let us know who number 8 is. Eldridge, and that was Miller got it up. Good call by Stidham, but it's going to be a free ball as Waddell gets it across to Lucas. Lucas, and Lucas surprises Waddell on the 2, and it's going to be point Letcher Central.
Lucas is really good with positioning the ball. She finds her hitters, and then she finds the holes on this side of the court.
And Lucas has 400. I forgot how many. I'll look here in a second and see how many. But there's Pollard, and that's going to be set number 1, 25-15. And that will come back with set number 2 in about a minute. So stick with us. Thank you for viewing on Hometown 24.
This is the 4th app. I don't remember any of these passwords.
With so many subscriptions, it can be impossible to keep up.
Who said that?
Don't worry about who I am. Worry about all the money you're losing paying for all these subscriptions.
I have to use like 13 to watch all the shows I want to watch.
Then sign up for TVS. With TVS, you have all your favorite shows with just one bill. So stop throwing away money and throw away those subscriptions.
Magellan, what should we do with all this money we save by switching to TVS?
No one likes an uninvited guest, especially when that guest is a potentially dangerous pest. So call Bluegrass Pest Management and let the pros take care of your problem. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, providing much-needed jobs to local people. With 3 locations in Hazard, London, and Hindman, they treat rats, mice, roaches, bedbugs, termites, and many more. Open Monday through Friday and now servicing all of Kentucky. Say goodbye to your uninvited guests today. Call Bluegrass Pest Management.
If you're looking for a convenient pharmacy location with a friendly, caring staff, look no further than Hindman Pharmacy, located inside the new Hindman Primary Care Center. Our pharmacy is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 6:30, but always stays open until the last patient is seen. Whether you need to pick up your refills in our drive-thru, need a favorite medicine for your little ones, or something to feel better after a visit to the clinic, the Hindman Pharmacy inside Primary Care has got you covered. Located at 425 Hindman Bypass. Call the Hindman Pharmacy at 785-0513.
Thank you for tuning in tonight, and welcome to Letcher County Central. We're going to be going into set number 2. Set number 1 goes to Knott County Central, 25-15. Number 8 is Sophie Fields. Thank you, Lakin. And I'm hoping you're having a good time in North Myrtle Beach with your family as we watch this. And then maybe your Lady Cougars can pull out a set or two here. But Sophie was playing really, really well. Set number 2, looks like everybody will go with the same group. Katie, what's Letcher Central going to have to do here?
I think the biggest thing for Letcher is they've had a few passes that probably need to be executed a little bit better. They were doing good, and then they would have a couple that just weren't getting to the setter. And that is so important, that first pass. It needs to be a playable ball. It needs to go to the setter. That way they can get those good hits in. And they have the talent. They have the hitters. They have everything that they need to stay in the game with this Knott Central team. I think the biggest thing that's getting them is just the passes here and there. And then when Pollard's on the front row, they're having a hard time blocking her. They're having a hard time getting up her hits. And the hitters are having a hard time getting around Knott Central's blockers, all of them.
Yep.
And that's a hard adjustment to make when you go up to hit. You got to hit hard into the block like somebody did. I don't remember. I think it was Pack hit hard into the block, and it almost went out of bounds after it came off face hands.
Right.
That's what you have to do whenever you're hitting into a big, strong front line like Knott County.
As Bentley will start off set number 2 for Knott County, and the net once again was kind to her, as that will be a service ace, 1-0. I just really love Bentley's serving skills. She varies it up greatly. Lucas across to Lowe, and that's going to be down. That's a kill for Lowe, and you got to have that from Lowe.
It was a beautiful swing from Lowe. She was able to get on top of that ball and make that ball drop.
So the point goes to Letcher Central, as Lucas will go back to serve at 1-1. You know, and Lowe does have that length. She's one of the few that has the length for Letcher County Central. Goes to Miller, across to Pollard, the block. Adams with it up, and that Fields will get it across. Miller goes back to Pollard, and there is Lowe with the block. Miller will go right back to Pollard. Nobody there, and it's going to be the kill. Point, Knott County Central. Smart play.
That right there, man, this is exactly what Letcher needed to do. They blocked Faith on the outside. They were able to get up, knock some heat off that ball. She swung again from the middle. They knocked some heat off again. Then when she went up for the third time, she had to change what she normally does.
Right. And Lowe, and Stidham gets it across. Free ball for Letcher Central. Adams goes back to Napier, and that's going to be out. And that is a good call. And that's tough for this line person. A ball hit that hard, it's really tough. So 3-1 as Stidham will serve for Knott County. Nice up by Pack. Goes back set to Napier off the block. Miller's there. Bentley across to Waddell. Adams to Lucas. Back set to Fields. And I don't believe that crossed. No, it did not. And that's going to be point, Knott County Central.
It's a beautiful swing from Napier, and I know I touched on it last night. It's incredibly hard when you're a right-handed hitter to hit from the right side, especially when the set is in, and she done a good job of making that cut to make sure it went inbounds.
And that's going to be, I thought it was over, but Miller off the block. There's Adams. Cross to Napier, and that's a block. Nice job by Adams. Overpass, but they're still in it. Goes back to Pollard, and that's going to be out, and that's going to be point Letcher Central. And how does that affect Pollard if you block her 2 or 3 times? Does she just need to keep going, or does she adjust her play like she did before?
That's exactly what Letcher wants her to do. They want her to adjust. They want her to overthink what she's doing. They want her to start tipping the ball
instead of hitting it aggressively.
That's exactly what they want her to do. And all they have to, it's all a mind game. They're just trying to get in her mind and say, okay, if we can just beat this player down just a little bit, then that gives us some room to get a run.
Point goes to Knott Central, 5-2 in set number 2, as Miller will serve. Float serve to Adams. Goes back to low, and nice angle, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central.
I told you we was going to see a different Letcher, and I knew they was going to come out after that first set and have a little bit more oomph in their step.
Yeah, a little bit of – oh, a nice serve that time by Adams, and it's going to be another point. 5-4, Knott County Central. Adams with a nice serve. Rarely do you see Bentley not control the first serve. Set them up to Miller, goes back to Pollard, and there is Lucas, but it's going to go wide, and it's a point for Knott County Central. Sluss will come in for Pollard to go back to serve. Sluss does a nice job serving the volleyball. Fields with the up. That goes to Lucas, back to Eldridge. Nice job of Stidham. Hard hit by Eldridge, goes to Waddell. Waddell, there is Adams. Lucas with a back set to Fields as the cut. Goes back, Bentley. I don't think it crossed. Nope. And I think that's going to be a point for Letcher Central.
I think Letcher was very close to getting called for being over the net on that one, but she done a good job of staying straight up.
And that's going to be a point. 6-6.
I believe this is the first time in the whole match that we've been tied.
You're exactly right. You've got a good memory.
Only sometimes. Comes and goes.
And here we go. Lucas goes back to Pack, and there's the double block, but it goes out of bounds, and Letcher will go ahead for the first time.
Just as I was saying earlier, that's what Letcher needs to do. They need to hit hard into those blocks and let the blockers make the mistakes.
Fields will serve. Floater serve to Sluss. Goes back to Waddell. Waddell with a nice cut, and that's a good play. Point, Knott County Central. Took a little bit off of it. Adams had already set and was unable to come up with it. Tried the pancake to get it up.
Those pancakes hurt, too. They're rough.
Waddell to serve. Lucas back set to Pack, and that's a point for Letcher Central.
That was a beautiful back set, too. Back sets are so hard, and especially she was from behind the attack line and was able to get that exactly where it needed to be a hittable ball.
And then Pack made the good swing.
Yep.
And that's going to be a service error, and that's going to be point Knott County Central as Miller will come in to serve, as Bailey will go out, and Sluss. Thanks for everybody for joining us tonight. Pack goes up to Lucas, goes across to Napier off the block, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central.
Lucas is really doing a good job on these sets, and it is a complete game changer when you have a setter that's able to get those balls out to your hot hitters.
And that serve's going to go long by Eldridge, and that's going to be a point Knott Central. And I think I mentioned it, or did I mention that Lucas has over 593 assists already this year. Fields goes to Lucas to Miller, and nice job by Bentley, but can't control it, and that's going to be a point for Letcher County Central.
Had a hard time taking the heat off that ball.
That was hard hit. As Lucas will serve at 10-9, second set. Knott Central won the first set, 25-15. Stidham across to Pollard. Free ball. Adams to Lucas. Goes across to Napier, and that's going to be in. Point, Letcher County Central.
Letcher's really got the momentum going their way now, and you can see that the Patriots are getting slightly frustrated.
Yeah, and you can see a little bit more smiles on the girls of Letcher Central. A little bit up on their toes, a little bit more. Stidham goes to Miller, goes to Pollard, and it's going to be the kill. Point, Knott County Central.
Beautiful swing off the net from Pollard. And it's incredible how she's able to adjust. She can hit those at the attack line. She can hit them 5 foot from the net. She can hit them right on the net. It doesn't matter how. She's just great at adjusting to those.
And she's also hitting it over the top of the block. Low, blocked by Pollard and Miller. Fields down the line. There's Stidham. Miller with a back set to Miller. There's Adams with a dig. Goes across to Fields, and she will go deep in the back. Miller to Pollard. And there's Pollard with a redirection, and that's going to be point, Knott County Central.
It's a perfect dump from Pollard. He's able to see that nobody was in that corner and get that right in there.
Stidham with the serve. Napier off the block. There's Bentley to Miller. Goes back to Waddell. Off the block. Adams with the call. Goes to Napier. Napier off the block. Smart play. Oh, Stidham tried to short it with it, but it just did not cross the net, and that's point Letcher Central. I think she had him, it just didn't cross the net.
Yep. She was trying to go ahead and get rid of that ball and start a new play.
Fields off the block. Nice block by Waddell, and that's going to be a point for Knott County Central as Bailey will come in for Miller, and Zoe Miller will go back to serve.
One of them Miller sisters.
Yeah, it sounds like a law firm, Miller and Miller.
Oh, Lord.
But here we go, Pack, and it's going to be a free ball. Nobody goes for it. Everybody looking at each other.
That was inbounds.
Yes, it was, and nice hit by Pollard. Point, Knott County Central.
Looked like she just picked Zoe's nose. I don't know what she was doing. Did you see that?
Unfortunately, I don't know what was transpiring
I don't
there.
know what just happened.
I don't even know what happened. Zoe will serve now. And Adams unable to contain it, and that's going to be a point for Knott County Central. Letcher Central cannot afford to get down right here. So look for Coach Van Hoos to call a quick timeout to kind of stymie him a little bit.
I'd say she's got a couple more points, and she'll call her timeout.
Ace for Miller, and that's going to be a point as she steps forward, gives some instructions to her girls. Miller with a nice serve there. It just dropped after it crossed the net. Pack with a nice up to Lucas. Back hit to nice play by Fields. Smart play.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be a point for Letcher County Central. 15-13 as Adams will serve as Lowe goes out of the match. And that's going to be.
Yeah, she was over the line.
Over the line, yes. As official Paddock says, she was that much.
He knew. Her foot was all the way over there.
Yeah, she's probably got bigger feet than I do. I'll have to talk to Bobby about that. But anyway, free play. Adams to Lucas goes across to Pack, and Pack hits it. I'm not so sure no touch, and that's going to be a point for Knott Central as Sluss will come in for Pollard.
Really good curve ball from her, too. It was almost inbounds. It was just about a foot shy. And you could just see the spin on that. And if you have the talent to curve a hit, you are doing a really good job at positioning the ball because those are so hard to hit and they're so hard to pass.
Free ball to Knott County Central. Miller goes to Bentley, and it's down for the kill. Point, 17-14, Knott County Central. Thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. 17-14 as Sluss will serve. Nice serve, Adams with a nice up. And Lucas unable to get it across, and that's a point for Knott County Central, 18-14. And Letcher Central is going to call a timeout. We're in set number 2. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a convenient pharmacy location with a friendly, caring staff, look no further than Heinemann Pharmacy, located inside the new Heinemann Primary Care Center. Our pharmacy is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 6:30, but always stays open until the last patient is seen. Whether you need to pick up your refills in our drive-thru, need a flavored medicine for your little ones, or something to feel better after a visit to the clinic, the Heinemann Pharmacy inside Primary Care has got you covered. Located at 425 Heinemann Bypass. Call the Heinemann Pharmacy at 785-0513.
Welcome back to Letcher County Central. We're in set number 2, 18-14 Knott County Central. Knott County Central was able to win set number 1, 25-15. Letcher Central won the, I don't have the scores, but Letcher Central won the JV 2-0. Sluss will start off after the timeout called by Coach Van Hoos. Let's see what she drew up for the Lady Cougars, and that's exactly what she needed to happen after the timeout.
That was the plan.
And it worked. So point Letcher Central, and Fields will serve. Goes across to Bentley. Bentley hits it deep and in. That's a kill. And Coach Van Hoos is giving some instruction. Did not like that. 19-15, Knott County Central, as Waddell will serve for Knott County Central.
It's a good serve from Waddell. A little bit of miscommunication.
Goes with back set to Bailey. Bailey cuts it, but it goes long, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. Pack will serve, and if she serves the way she did earlier, could be good for Letcher Central, and it is good for Letcher Central. Point. 19-17.
Yep, now a 2-point game.
Like I said, she does a good job, too, of varying her serve as well. And
you spoke too soon.
I gave her the sportscaster jinx.
Yep.
I do apologize.
You take the L for that one.
I
Everybody
will
blame Manus.
Yep.
He was blaming me for everything last night. It's your turn.
2017 Knott County as Miller will serve. Napier hits it into the net, and that's going to be a point. Knott County.
That's just one of those that it's hard to judge when it's across the court.
Trying to let it drop, and then you let it drop too much. And Pack goes to Eldridge, and it's going to be a free ball as Fields knocks it to Stidham. Miller comes back to Bentley, and she back tips it. Nice play, and that's going to be point, Knott County Central.
It was the perfect thing for her to do, too, because she was too far back to get that quick set. There was no way she was going to be able to hit that ball and get it inbounds.
Knuckleball to Fields. She handles it well. Goes back to Eldridge. There's Stidham. To Miller, to Bentley, and there she does the same thing on that one. 2 in a row.
Burned them twice.
Yep, 23-17. Had that Michael Jordan hang time up there and got it back across. Fields mishandles. Eldridge gets it back in to Pack. Free ball for Knott County as Pollard goes to Miller. Back set to Baker off the block, and that's going to be a point, which leads to set number 2, set point, 24-17.
Baker done a good job of hitting straight into that block and hitting hard. Beautiful serve.
Fields, and it's miscommunication, but Lucas gets it across. Nice play, Pollard.
Inbounds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Goes all the way across. Miller with a short set, and it's off the block, and that's going to end set number 2 as Knott County Central wins set number 2, 25-17. We'll be back with set number 3, so stay with us.
Great communities attract talented people to live, work, and raise their families. We're committed to delivering future-proof broadband. so our friends, families, and neighbors can live rich lives in smart rural communities across America. Your community is our community. We're your rural broadband partners. You do great things. We make great things possible.
Nestled in the mountains of Appalachia, along the Purpose Road, is a hidden gem, Alice Lloyd College. For 100 years, ALC has been providing opportunities.
Opportunity to learn from the best.
Opportunity to work for my education.
Opportunity to serve my community.
Opportunity to become a leader.
Opportunity to find my life's purpose.
Apply now to find your purpose at Alice Lloyd College.
What keeps you going? Your love for the game? Your teammates? A victory? At ARH Orthopedics, our goal is to keep you pain-free so your body can keep going. There's no time for discomfort in your joints or ligaments caused by an injury. ARH Orthopedic providers specialize in treatment plans, from non-surgical and surgical options, so your care is entirely centered around you. Visit arh.org/ortho to find an orthopedic provider near you. ARH, more for Appalachia.
Welcome back to on the campus of Letcher County Central High School, and we're moving into set number 3. Knott County Central won the first two, 25-15, 25-17. Letcher Central trying to come up with something to extend the match, and Katie, I thought maybe it'd be a little bit closer than this, but as of right now, Letcher Central's not able to overcome some of the things, the passing and those things that, and then to overcome the hitting and the skill of Knott County Central as well.
They've come out pretty strong in the second set. They had some setbacks, and excuse me, some of those rotations, they're just really having a hard time when they get those hard hitters and those blockers from the Patriots getting in those rotations. But they're doing a really good job. They're executing well. I think they're playing well. It's just one of those things where you have a hard hit coming at you, you have a hard block, you just got to move quick, hope that you get there. Or whenever it's coming at you 1,000 miles an hour, just hope that you're in the right place to get it.
And, you know, the efficiency so far of Knott County Central and their passing and getting the ball to the Miller girls so that they can put it in system and get it to Bentley, Waddell, and, of course, Bailey and Pollard. So we've got about a minute to go, and once again, thank you to everybody that is tuning in tonight. And Betty Vaughn, if you're on a boat somewhere fishing, just think about me and Katie that we're slaving watching volleyball, which we love to watch. But we'll see you next week, I guess, Betty Vaughn, somewhere.
Yeah, you slacker.
Yeah, slacker. Karen Kay, let her know that.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you tell her that Katie said it too.
So as we go, it looks like it's the same groups starting the third set, and Letcher Central will serve. Lucas will start off the serve. And, you know, and it's kind of gotten a lull there in the middle of the second set at Letcher Central, and let's see if they can just keep it going for the complete third set as Lucas serves it to Pollard. It's going to be a 3-meter hit by.
It's a really good adjustment.
Yes. And Lowe with a nice shot, and that's going to be the kill. And that's a nice way for Letcher Central to get started.
Absolutely. The Patriots were not prepared for that hit at all.
Lucas will go back to serve. Serves it deep. Nice serve, and that's going to be another point. That had some wicked curve on it. Stidham hardly ever makes, but it moved at the very last moment.
I think she was contemplating whether or not that was out of bounds.
It was close, and there's Stidham with a up, goes with a back set to Bentley, cuts it to the middle to Adams. Lucas across to Napier off the block. Ooh. And it's going to be down as Bentley makes the block, and it's point Knott County Central.
It's a good job from Adams getting her hands on that ball. It did not hit the floor. It hit her hands. It just didn't go nowhere after that, but she did get it.
She does an outstanding job, and once again, she's just a 7th grader, a lot of potential. Pack to Lucas. Back set to Napier. Napier deep corner. Stidham was there.
Ooh.
And that's going to be out.
That was so close.
Really close. And that's going to be a point for Letcher Central, 3-1.
It's a bad night to be a line judge, let me tell you.
Even on the floaters, sometimes you just have to let it come to you sometimes. Pollard goes to Miller, across back to Pollard. Hits it deep to Napier. Lucas back to Pack. Pack will draw it with the left hand. And that's going to be wide, and that's going to be point. Letcher Central, 4-1. Let's see if Letcher Central can keep that momentum going here in the third set.
They've got a real good run.
Napier with the serve, goes to Stidham.
Had to back shuffle to get that ball.
There's Adams. And it's going to be a point as Miller hits that cross, and Napier's not able to handle it. 4-2. Knott County Central as Baker comes out.
That's one mistake that you cannot make with the Patriot team is hitting that ball short just over the net because it's going to come at you quick.
Fields with the free ball. Nice job. Nice by Stidham. Goes back to Pollard. Nice block by Lowe on the double block, and it's going to be point for Letcher County Central as Eldridge will come in for Adams. Lowe goes back to serve after the block. Nice jump serve. Free ball's coming for Letcher Central. Lucas goes corner, but Bentley's there, but unable to get it to Waddell, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central.
Letcher is really reading all of these holes from the Patriots, and the girls they're not moving their feet fast enough, or they're not reading it quick enough. I'm not sure what the problem is, but Letcher is eating them up right now.
Miller goes to Waddell, blocked by Fields. And nice on the 2 by Pollard, and that's going to be a point. And ends the run by Letcher County Central, 6-3. Letcher Central as Lowe goes out of the game.
This rotation is a good rotation, and that's a lot of the reason why Coach Cornett sets it up this way so that Ellie Miller, or not Ellie, that's Zoe. Zoe is back there to serve and to get a good run.
And that's going to be a nice hit by Eldridge off of Stidham, and that's a point for Letcher Central. 7-3 as Fields will go back to serve. Bentley gets it back, and that comes off of Pollard, and that's going to be a block by Eldridge, and that's another point for Letcher Central. 8-3.
Waiting for Coach Cornett to call a timeout before too long.
Renewed spirit by the Lady Cougars. Fields the serve. Goes to Pollard, and maybe that's why they didn't call a timeout.
She was giving them time to pick it up.
Pollard with a kill, and Sluss will come in for Pollard, go back to serve. And when you got a bell cow sometimes, you allow it to play through, as Betty Vaughn says. Yep. I'm not calling the timeout.
Betty Vaughn hates timeouts.
And Pack off the block or off the net, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central, 9-4 as they get it side out quickly. Pack going back to serve. And that's going to be out.
Done a good job of watching that ball. You could see the lean into it. Yeah. That was a curve ball. It was going straight for the corner.
Another one of those curve balls. Waddell will serve for Knott County Central, 9-5. Letcher Central. Nice knuckleballs. Fields had a hard time handling it. Eldridge back to the middle. Nice job by Adams. And they're going to call her for going across under the net.
Yeah, with her hand.
But excellent effort by Adams. Waddell with the serve, and a nice serve. Service ace by Waddell. 9-7 as Waddell will serve once again. And goes into the net. Point Letcher Central as Lowe will come in for Eldridge.
Patriots are really struggling in this set to just keep their energy up and keep their spirits up.
Stidham goes to Miller, and Bentley hits it wide, and that's going to be a point. And, you know, sometimes after you win those 2 sets, you kind of get a little bit flat-footed and looking forward to going to eat after the game or see your boyfriend or whatever. So sometimes that happens.
I can't tell you how many times we got yelled at for, if you all don't hush, we ain't going nowhere to eat. Quit asking me where we're going to eat. Blah, 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 blah.
Nice cut by Bentley, and that's going to be a point for Knott County Central as Bailey will go out and Miller will go back to serve. But, you know, 1 or 2 hits and Knott Central gets right back into that scheme of things and thinking the right way. And Letcher Central is going to keep them from doing that as best they can as Lowe hits a cut shot, and that's going to be out off of Miller, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. And that's the best way to do it. You got to side out, get your serving back, and keep that momentum that Letcher Central has gained here in set number 3.
It just takes 1, maybe 2 things to get everything turned around, to get the spirits back up of the team, and to get that momentum shifted.
Yeah. And Miller off the block. Nice block. Adams there. Lucas tries to catch him, but Knott Central is ready. Adams with the back comes across short.
Ooh.
Oh. And that's going to be a point, Letcher Central. So found the middle right over the 3-meter line as Lucas will go back to serve. Nice serve. Stidham with the up. Goes back to Bentley, does Miller. And nice cut shot in the middle, and that's a point, Knott Central.
It's great positioning, getting it right in between those 2 players.
Bentley, a very smart player at the net.
Can't blame bragging on people.
I did not brag on her serve. That was the last time. So point Letcher Central 14 to 9 as Napier serves. Bentley with the up to Miller across to Pollard, and she puts it down. No block there, and point for Knott County Central.
I don't even think you could see the white on that ball when it went by. It was just a light blue.
And, you know, if you're sitting at court level, she's way above the net when she hits that thing. Stidham to Adams. Lucas with a back set, and that's going to be just out by Lowe. Nice back set. Lowe had a good swing on it, just went long.
This run is really what the Patriots need if they want to take home this 3rd set. They need to keep Stidham serving and keep the ball.
And that's going to be a double hit. Point Knott Central as Stidham will be serving. In system goes Knott Central to Pollard off the block of Lowe. It's on the single block, able to contain it. Point Knott Central as they draw close to Letcher Central.
Slowly working their way back up.
Adams to Lucas, goes back to the Lowe, off the block, and that's going to be a point. Smart play by Lowe, which ends Knott Central's momentum here. And as I say that, Lowe will go back to serve. Stidham with the overpass. Eldridge is unable to put it down. Still within in system as Letcher Central goes back to Eldridge. Ooh. Nice hit. Bentley unable to contain that one, and it's going to be another point for Letcher Central, 16-13.
It's a beautiful swing from Eldridge. Really had some heat behind that.
Lowe with the serve. Nice serve.
Oh.
Comes across and cut shot, and there is Lowe, a little bit out of kilter here is Pack. Nice job by Bentley as Pack hit it hard, and that's going to be out.
That's
a little bit long, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. They've kind of stemmed the tide, and then once upon stemming the tide, Coach Cornett says, I got to have a timeout. So we'll be back 17-13 Letcher Central, set number 3, so stay with us.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
Welcome back to Letcher Central, as Letcher Central has kind of stemmed the tide, the momentum of Knott County trying to get back in set number 3. They're up 17-13 here, and Lowe will serve after the timeout by Coach Cornett, who was trying to slow down the momentum train of the Lady Cougars. Miller to Miller, goes back to Miller. That's going to be a free ball. Call goes back to Pack. It's blocked out of bounds, and that's going to be, it was blocked, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central, 18-13. Big time swing by the Lady Cougars. Hits it in the net as low, and that's going to be point for, as I almost untangle myself here, 18-14. Zoe Miller will serve for the Lady Patriots. Knuckleball, and it's going to be an overpass, and there's Pollard. Puts it down on the sideline, 18-15.
Directly on the line.
And, you know, that's a result of serving aggressively, and then the overpass allowed Pollard to put it down.
Side spin.
Goes to Eldridge. Eldridge block off the block and down on Knott Central side, so point Letcher Central, 19-15.
Patriots just weren't able to seal the net on that one.
Didn't get close enough. And Fields with a serve. It's going to be an overpass, and there's Eldridge. And that's going to be a point for Knott County Central, as Letcher Central's crowd, for the first time tonight, has got something to cheer about.
And that's all they need is that little push.
Nice serve, Waddell. The call was made by Miller with a little bit of miscommunication. Lucas goes to Eldridge. Eldridge puts it down. Nope, it's a little bit long. And that's going to be a point for Knott County Central. They're going to call a touch. Excuse me, a touch. So that will be point.
Justin does not agree with that call.
I did not see who made that call, but it's going to be a timeout, and it's 21-15, set number 3, and it's getting very interesting, so stay with us.
See a penny? Pick it up and head to Appalachian Wireless and buy a new iPhone 13. One little old penny for an iPhone 13. Choose a 2-year contract or on the Mix and Match or Unlimited plan. Staying connected never goes out of style, and we make it easy with a new iPhone 13 for just a penny. Terms and conditions do apply. Visit AppalachianWireless.com for details. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Welcome back to Letcher County Central. We've got a little bit of controversy here about the touch, but it will stay with Letcher County Central at 21-15, and Fields will serve in the third set. Stidham goes to Miller with a back to Pollard. There's Adams. There's Waddell to save. Back to Waddell, and it does not cross, and that's going to be point Letcher Central. Knott Central's got to find their way here in this third set. Bentley to Miller, goes back to Pollard. There's Adams to Lucas, goes back to Pack. And there's the block by Pollard and Bailey. Point Knott County Central. Knott Central cannot allow any more points to be scored by Letcher Central if they want to try to take this third set.
The Patriots can come up, but they have to be dedicated and they have to keep her serving.
Sluss with the serve. And nice up that time. And Eldridge goes to Miller. Waddell back to Stidham. Free ball for Letcher Central. Adams to Eldridge, and it's blocked. Nice job there by Waddell. Lucas back to Eldridge. Playing a game of chess here.
It's all tit for tat. That's all we're doing.
Tippy-tat, and it's going to be long, and that's going to be a point. And you know what happens when you tippy-tat?
Yep.
Usually, unless you've got them out of kilter, that's probably not going to be to your best. So 23-16, Letcher Central as Pack will serve. And she serves it into net. Point, Knott Central. But Coach Van Hoos is saying that's what you've got to do, as Sluss will go out and Waddell will go back to serve.
Okay.
Not sure what was being communicated.
I don't know.
Or it may have been checking the score. Napier across to Baker, and then Baker back to her. There's Adams. Lucas across to Napier, and that's going to be, could not hit it. Could not have hit that. That would hit both lines. And that's going to set up Letcher Central, going to be for set number 3 point. 24-17. Couldn't have thrown it any better. Bentley Miller across to Pollard. There's Adams with a up to Lucas, across to Napier. There's the block, nice up. Pack, and it's going to be free ball, Knott County Central. Pollard goes to Miller, goes back to Bentley off the block, and that's going to be point, Knott County Central. Miller will come in for Bailey to go back to serve. Still set point for Letcher County Central.
The Patriots want to take this set. They've got to keep Miller serving.
Oh. And had enough top spin that it just barely made its way over the net. Point, Knott County Central.
That one had plenty on it. That had plenty of oomph.
Miller goes to Bentley in the front, and that's going to be a kill. And that's going to be point, Knott Central. And Coach Van Hoos says how many timeouts I have, and says I want one. So it's 24-20. Still set point. Stay with us. It's going to be a good ending here.
No matter what town or community you live in, there's a Tim Short dealership nearby. That's because our family of dealerships are dedicated to serving the folks throughout Eastern Kentucky. Our employees are your friends and neighbors, helping to support the local economy and provide safe and affordable transportation to everyone that shops the family of Tim Short dealerships. Our entire inventory can be found with the click of a button at timshortautogroup.com. Visit us online and join the thousands of customers that took the short drive to satisfaction today.
Welcome back to Letcher County Central. Thank you for tuning in to Hometown 24 Volleyball. We have Knott County Central has won the first 2 sets. Letcher Central has a set point at 24-20. Miller with a serve to Pack. Goes to Lowe, and that is going to be the set as Letcher Central wins set number 2, 25-20. And when we come back, we will move into set number 4. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm attorney David Johnson. You may recognize me from some of our other ads, but injuries from an auto accident are no joking matter. With over 25 years of experience, our offices have the resources and expertise to go head-to-head with big insurance. While most of our cases get resolved without going to court, trust me, they know if the attorney you choose will take it this far. Either way, our clients get paid. So for all your legal needs, get the pros on your side.
Home sweet home. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we've been providing our friends and neighbors the sweet dream of homeownership since 1960. We're proud to support the community we work and live in. That's why we take so much pride in providing competitive rates, low closing costs, and quick turnaround by local decision makers. Investing and growing our community is what we do. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we believe that there's no place like our home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Just want to watch the game.
Dad, turn on the ceiling fan. Use the gray remote. Hit power, then input.
It's not working.
That's the silver one.
It might be difficult to understand what all the remotes on your coffee table do. But with a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent in every county, at least it's easy to get great insurance. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Next time, I'll just go to the game.
Welcome back to Letcher County Central. The whole gym all of a sudden got exciting. Letcher Central takes set number 3, making it 2 sets Knott County, 1 set Letcher Central. What was the difference in that third set for Letcher County Central?
Letcher got a good run. They got a good run. They were getting their hits in. And I really think that they hit on the emotions of the Patriots. I think that was probably the biggest thing, is that you've just got to give them a couple things where they think, oh, we're doing bad. And then it's contagious. It just goes all the way around the girls, and they get their hopes down. And whenever they get disappointed in themselves, that's when Letcher can really take that opportunity and be like, okay, we're really going to hit these hard. We're really going to get these in. And they did. They had their runs. They were doing everything right. And the Patriots just fell short here and there, and it made a big difference.
Yeah, and in Letcher Central, and me and Betty Von touched upon this before, they're young, but heck, how many games are we into the season? You can't use young as an excuse. So when you look out there, they're up and going now, as Knott Central will start off set number 4. And Fields unable to contain it, but Pack saves it. Free ball for Knott County Central. Miller goes to Pollard. It's blocked, but it comes down on Letcher Central's side, and that'll be a point and a good start for Knott County Central. You saw right away who they went to.
It's a good block from Napier and Lowe.
Bentley hits it over to Fields. Lucas all the way across to Lowe, and Lowe hits it down. Point, Letcher Central. So Knott Central goes to Pollard. Letcher Central goes to Lowe to start off this 4th set.
Got to go to your hot hitters.
As Lucas will serve for Letcher Central. Nice serve. Goes back to Baker. Baker draws it, but there is Lucas. Adams with a nice call. And Napier hits it off the block of Knott County Central, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. (2-1) Letcher Central. That's going to be hit long. Point Knott County. Trying to put a little bit of more oomph into it.
The oomph.
Yep.
Every time I say that, like I can't process it in my head how you spell it. I know how you're supposed to spell it, but it don't go together.
Pack goes with the up to Low, and that's a nice single block by Pollard, and that's going to be a point for Knott County Central.
Do you think this set's going to go by fast, or is it going to go by?
I don't know.
So far, it's going by pretty quick. We're not making long plays.
Not a lot of rally time. And Napier off the touch of Miller, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. I'm afraid to say anything like that. It may come back to bite me if I say either way.
Everything comes back to bite me. It don't matter if I knock on wood, metal. I take the L's left and right. It's fine.
Napier goes to Bentley. He goes to Miller. There's Pollard, and that's going to be a block, but they just did not get it back across the net, and that's going to be a point for Knott County Central. Nice double block by both, but they did not press it over on Knott County Central's side, as Miller will go back to serve.
It's really hard to seal the net, too, especially when you've got a cannon coming at you, and you're trying to stay out of the net, trying to keep your hair out of the net, and it's a lot more difficult than people would think.
Overpass, and Waddell's able to put it down, so Knott County Central rallies up to 5-3 now, as Zoe Miller will be serving. Pack nice up to Lucas, back to Lowe, and that's going to be a point over top of the double block, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central, as Lowe will go out and Eldridge will come in.
It's a beautiful swing from Lowe, straight back to that corner.
Adams will serve for Letcher Central. Bailey pushes it across. Adams across to Pack, and that's going to be a touch, they call, but Stidham gets it in. Free ball for Letcher Central. Adams to Lucas, goes to Eldridge in the middle, and it's going to be down off the block of Pollard. Point, Letcher Central.
So absolutely perfect pass from Adams. There was no movement on the ball whatsoever. Went directly where it needed to go. That's like the model pass that you want to see whenever you're playing the game.
And there's Pollard putting it down. Nice in-system play by Knott County Central as Sluss will come in for Pollard to go back to serve. 6-5 Knott County Central. Set number 4. Knott Central up 2 sets to 1. Fields up to a good run. Free ball for Knott County Central. Sluss to Miller. Goes to third time of the night, and Bentley backflips it, I guess. I don't know exactly what you call that, but it's very effective. So point for Knott County Central, 7-5.
Usually you call it a tip or a dump. I would say that's a dump whenever they put it back behind their hand, but she's been hitting that spot all night.
And that's going to be a point for Knott County Central. Letcher Central cannot afford for Knott Central to get out to any kind of lead here.
Nope.
And Sluss hits it in the net, so point Letcher Central.
It's another close game, a lot of back and forth, and so far we're not really seeing a whole lot of rally. We're seeing a lot of well-executed hits.
As Field hits the ball to Stidham, almost an overpass. There's Bailey. Bailey puts it down off the touch, and that's a point for Knott County Central, 9-6. And, you know, this type of atmosphere and this type of game helps both teams, regardless of the result. It puts you in a situation that is uncomfortable sometimes, and that tells a whole lot. Waddell could not get it to cross. Did not have enough top spin on it, and that's a point for Letcher Central as Pack will serve for Letcher Central. Nice over-the-top serve. Nice job by Miller, and Eldridge reaches up, and they say that's permissible, and that's a point for Letcher Central. Nice up by Pollard to Miller, goes to Bentley. The block is made, but there's Stidham. Goes back to Bailey. Bailey down the line, but it is out, and that draws Letcher Central to a tie, 9-9.
Both teams really got to fight for this set. It's going back and forth.
And you can see some of them clenching their teeth like, let's go. So Stidham, Bailey saves it. Free ball for Letcher Central. Fields to Lucas, to Eldridge, and there's Miller. Nice call. Baker.
Beautiful swing.
Overpass in system here. And there's a little draw, but there was Lucas, and Napier goes all the way across, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. As Betty Vaughn says, the honey hole.
Honey hole, yep.
As they move closer and closer to the 3-meter line, and Pack serves. Nice job by Bentley. Goes to Bailey. Bailey, there's Pack, saves it. Goes to Napier. Napier hits it in the net. Point, Knott County Central, and Miller will come in for Bailey to serve. See people across kind of getting on the edge of their seat a little bit for both clubs. Free ball for Knott County Central. Stidham goes overpass, and there's Napier. Nice job by Stidham saving it. Adams with a dig, goes all the way across to Napier, and it's going to be down the line, and it is in for the kill, and that's point Letcher Central.
There wasn't much they could do about that ball. It was straight down the line, and their coverage was just not set up for a line shot. Their coverage is set up for cross and middle, which is ideally why they hit it down the line.
Right. Smart play. As Eldridge will serve right down the line. Nice job, but nobody there to communicate with it, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. And Coach Cornett says, give me a timeout at 12:10, set number 4. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
A lot has changed in 100 years. We've gone from the Model T to the electric car, from silent film to home theaters, and from the telegram to the iPhone. And through it all, People's Bank and Trust of Hazard has been there for local people. From paper checks to debit cards, from wire transfers to online banking, People's Bank has maintained a tradition of service while embracing the future for your financial needs. Celebrating a century of service to the mountains. People's Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Hometown 24, set number 4. Letcher Central up 12-10. Knott County Central up in sets 2-1. Eldridge will be serving after the timeout by Knott County Central. Miller goes across to Miller. There is Eldridge. Fields across, and it's going to be a free ball. Nice job that time by Napier. 3-meter hit by Miller, and that's going to be a point. Nice job by Miller. Adams comes in for Eldridge for Letcher Central as Bentley will go back to serve. Cut shot deep. Nice play. Goes to Pollard over top of the double block, and that's going to be a point for Knott County Central.
Straight down the middle. Those balls are so hard to get to.
And she just hit it over top of the blockers. Not much you can do with that.
Nope.
Pack unable to contain the serve, and that will tie it up at 12-all.
Good serve from Bentley again.
Goes across to Lowe. Lowe with a cut. There's it Miller. Baker gets it across to Miller. Nice job by Pack. Good hit by Miller. Napier hits it. There's Stidham. Goes across. Left hand by Miller. Goes short set there. Nice job, but not able to contain it as Pollard with a kill. And I said 12-all. It should be 14-12. I said so. Sorry about that.
I think they'll let you by with it this one time.
Just one time. Oh, nice on the push. It was a block, and that's going to be 15-12. Letcher Central, they cannot afford for the score to increase anymore by Knott County. Nice job. Free ball, Knott County Central. Miller goes to Pollard, and that's going to be point.
I'm telling you, it's so quick you don't even know what's happening.
And that's going to be a timeout. 16-12 here in set number 4. Stay with us. Still more volleyball to be played.
TVS Cable has everything you need to stay entertained. Video services with all your favorite channels and local sports on Hometown 24. Ask about digital voice service for home and business. High-speed internet so you never fall behind in a game. There's something for all ages. We've got you covered. Sit back and enjoy everything TVS has to offer. Stay connected with TVS.
Welcome back to Letcher County Central. Sorry, I was listening to the cheers of Knott County Central and Letcher Central, and I was enjoying it. As we come back, 16-12, set 4. Bentley serving. Short serve to Pat. Lucas goes across the low block, and nice up. Free ball as Fields gets it across. Deep. Stidham takes it. Into Miller, goes to Pollard. Off the block, and that's going to be a point.
It's a really good pickup from Letcher and really good placement. I'm not 100% sure that ball would have been in.
It was close, wasn't it?
It was around the line, but it was a good decision by Stidham to make that a playable ball.
Yeah, if you can get it, just go ahead and get it. Miller goes back to Baker. Baker with a short. There's the nice dig as goes across, but Miller was ready for it. And there is Pollard. Pollard making her statement to be the player of the game, looks like.
That's what she's aiming for.
18-12 as she is kind of taking over for the Lady Pats. Adams with a up to Lucas, goes to Napier, hits it into the net, and that's going to be point, Knott County Central. Letcher Central kind of looking like they've lost a little bit of steam here.
They've lost that momentum, and so their confidence is coming down. Their energy is coming down.
Nice. There's Bentley. She was ready for it. Free ball. But that's a nice job by Pollard to hit it deep over top. And Adams was not able to get to it.
I'm telling you, for her to be just in 7th grade, you could just imagine the player that she'll be.
Oh, she's going to be a great player here at Letcher
She's already
Central.
great now. She's going to be
greater.
Phenomenal, yeah.
And Fields gets it across. Nice job by Pollard. Go back to Pollard, and it's going to be down. Nothing, as Coach Van Hoos says, there's nothing we can do.
Nope.
So 21-12. Major run by Knott County Central. Short serve. Napier's got it. Tries to, but there's Miller on the 2. Adams is ready. Goes across to Napier. Nice hit off the block, and that's going to be a point for Letcher Central. Letcher Central got to have 4 or 5 here to get back into the match in the 4th set. Lucas to serve.
Good serve.
Bentley there with a up. Goes across to Pollard, and it's off the net. And
I think Rob got a little confused on that one.
I think he pointed the wrong direction, but he corrected himself, and that's going to be a point for – nope. He said there was a touch, and that's going to be a point for Knott County Central.
Yeah, it was inbounds too, and he watched it hit. I think he went the wrong direction.
Done that a few times. And Napier, nice hit. Good try by Stidham, but it's going to be a point for Letcher Central. Napier's got to score a bunch for Letcher Central here. Bentley mishandled it. Waddell across, and it's going to be a free ball. Adams to Lucas in system, goes to the back, and it's going to be a block that time by Waddell. And that's going to be a point for Knott County Central as Bailey will come in for Miller. Zoe Miller will go back to serve.
Here's a fun fact if nobody knows it. If you hit into a block and they touch it and it comes back over, you can't hit it again.
Twice, in other words. And that's going to be down the line, and that will set up match point for Knott County Central. Miller will serve for the match. Adams up, goes across to Pack. Pack off the block, and that's what you were talking about a minute ago, Katie.
Yep.
And Pack goes down the line, but Stidham's there. Goes across to Pollard, and Pollard puts it down, and that will send Knott County Central home with the match. And they will win it 3-1. And our player, Alice Lloyd player of the game will be
Faith Pollard.
Miss Faith Pollard. So when we come back, we'll wrap it up. So stick with us for the wrap up, and we'll be back in 30 seconds.
Since 1962, Citizens Bank and Trust of Jackson has been proud to serve the community. They care about the people of Breathitt County and are the only locally owned bank in the community. With 2 branches in Jackson and 1 in Beattyville, they're never too far away when you need them. And with the latest innovations in banking, keeping track of your finances has never been easier. Helping to grow Breathitt County as leaders for over 60 years. That's Citizens Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Letcher County Central as Knott County Central wins 3-1 against Letcher County Central. Nice battle and good for both teams as we discussed. Katie, last comments, last thoughts on the match tonight?
I think both teams played really well. We've seen pretty much the same energy and the same attacks, the same passes, the same serves from both teams at different times, I think. I think it was a pretty well-played match between the both of them. And I didn't expect, honestly, anything less for these two teams to compete.
And it's a natural rival. and county rival, district rival, and I wouldn't look into the future, but these two may play at least 2 more times. Who knows? But Knott County Central, of course, we will be back over at the Morton Combs Athletic Center tomorrow night as Knott County Central will face Wolfe County, and we appreciate everybody that's tuned in to us the last 2 nights, and I'm thankful that Katie's been able to contain me and get me in the right spots, and I've enjoyed it. So join us again. I try my
best, but it's hard.
Just join in with us again tomorrow night as Wolfe County will come over, and Wolfe County is playing well, and it should be a really good match. And just a reminder that our Alice Lloyd College player of the game is Faith Pollard, and Faith with another outstanding match. And also a reminder that Friday night we will be at the Holler, Daniel Field and Hazard, as Paintsville will come to Hazard in a district matchup. So join us then too with David Adams and Jim Bob McCauley. So for Manus Blair, Katie Sloan, Jeremy Woolham, and Josh Cornett. I didn't call Jeremy Mr. Woolham. So with all that entail, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night at Knott County Central High School. Good night.